Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us right now, the head football coach of the Jacksonville Fighting Indians, Chris Tabor. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you very much. You guys got off to the start, the huge win over Carthage, 34-30 to start the season, and then you lost your quarterback, McCown. Talk a little bit about the struggle of keeping it together until you were able to get him back and then get the win over Nacogdoches this past week.
Well, it was also obviously a big loss losing your starting quarterback in the first game, and our kids adjusted pretty well, but we ended up losing 4 more starters throughout that process. So we had some rough times there for a little while, just trying to get everybody healthy, and we're starting to get back to 100%, so we're playing a little bit better.
Yeah, obviously, big blowout win over Marshall, and then the ball game at Nacogdoches this past weekend. Talk about the win at Nacogdoches. It looked like it was a bit of a struggle.
It was. We came out and we were red hot in the first quarter and in the first half, and we were up 22-7. Just kind of hit a lull in the third quarter, but kids picked it up in the fourth quarter, scored 2 more times to put it away, and give a lot of credit to Nacogdoches. They played a great game, and they're getting better week to week, and we knew it was going to be a good game going into it.
Your quarterback situation notwithstanding, how do you feel like it's gone for you this first year as far as getting your kids settled into your system and buying into what you're doing?
It's still a process. The kids are doing really well and adjusting, to what they've done the last 3 years and what we're doing now, and they're starting to understand the concepts of it a little bit better, and you can tell that on the field. We're getting a lot more production out of them. Quarterback-wise, McCown's going to be a good one for us. D.D. Franklin's played outstanding, while he was in there behind center, and it's just starting to come together a little bit.
Okay, and you talk about your defense, too. What's the story with your defense?
Well, it's kind of the same thing. We're just now getting healthy again, so we're getting everybody back in their original positions and playing a little bit better. Like I said, we had 1 bad quarter last Friday night, but other than that, if you look at game film, we played well for the 3 other quarters defensively.
And I guess things are in a lot better shape as far as your team's mood and psyche right now after the 2-game winning streak. It
is. Anytime you can get on a little bit of a roll, you get a lot more confidence. Kids play a little harder and faster, and getting that first district win is always important, so that kind of put us in a good situation in our district.
Are you surprised at the way the district is shaking out right now?
A little bit, but, it's like I talked last week. Everybody's kind of played a tough non-district schedule, so, we knew there were going to be some losses in everybody's column other than White House, but it's still anybody's, spots to win for the playoffs, and it's going to be a battle to the last week.
What do you think of the White House team you're going to play Friday night?
Yeah, they're very good. We watch them on film, and all the publicity they're getting is well earned. Quarterback's outstanding, and the receivers do a really good job of catching the football, and defensively they're a lot better than they were last year. So it's going to be a tough game for us. How
do you think you match up against them? First of all, your defense against their offense.
Well, I think we have the athletes to match up to them. It's just going to be, can we make the adjustments with our kids during the games to put them in some long down and distance situations, and can we make the plays when we got to make them? And the thing that White House is real good at is they're real good at their passing game, but when the quarterback gets in trouble, they're really dangerous because their kids do a good job of scrambling and making big plays in the open field.
When you're dealing with a situation facing a team where you've got a Dylan Cantrell, who's obviously a college-level receiver, but they throw the ball, they spread it all the way around like that, how do you go about scheming against a team like that?
Well, you got to take your chances when you can, and when you feel like you got them in a situation where you can get pressure on the quarterback. But they got Dylan Cantrell, but they've got 3 other really, really good receivers and a good running back. So it's not a one-guy show, I can tell you that. They spread it around pretty good.
And as far as your offense against their defense, talk about the way your team matches up there.
Athletically, kind of the same boat. We got some pretty good receivers here in Jacksonville, and get with our quarterback back, he's done well so far as a 2-year or a 2-game starter, and we've got to cut down on the penalties and we got to cut down on the turnovers, and we'll be okay.
And I guess with having him back in, being able to get some continuity with your offense makes a huge amount of difference, doesn't it?
It does. With D.D. going back to receiver really helps us. He had a big week last week. He had 7 catches for 115 yards, and it kind of solidifies our offense when we've got all of our receivers at their spots.
When he's in the ball game, Carter McCown, how many times ideally would you like to see the ball in the air in a game?
Well, we've averaged about 30 to 35 times a game with him back there. He's got a pretty good presence about him and understands, the concepts of our passing game. So we spread it around because a lot of our weapons are our receivers.
Jacksonville's always been known for having terrific skilled people, lots of speed. How's it this year?
It's the same. We've got some really, really good athletes. We just don't have the depth we've had in the past, so trying to keep them fresh for 4 quarters is going to be our challenge Friday night.
Okay, and as far as the keys to the win this Friday night, what do you see as it being the case?
We got to convert, and move the football. We got to try to keep it away from White House as much as we can, and we got to score in the red zone. We got to put points on the board to match them. And then the special teams are going to be huge. We got to win the special teams battle to give us some opportunities. You
expect a shootout, or are you going to try to keep it a low-scoring game?
Who knows? With them, they score a bunch of points, so it could easily turn into a shootout. We hope not, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate your time. Congratulations on the 2-game winning streak and getting your guys back healthy, and we really look forward to the ball game Friday night. Love doing ball games at the Tomato Bowl always, so can't wait to see your team play.
All right, I appreciate it.
Coach, thanks very much. Chris Tabor from the Jacksonville Fighting Indians on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.